Welcome, everyone. We are live today on this lovely Tuesday. I still can't believe it's Tuesday already. Who hasn't started packing? I haven't started packing. Oh, but we'll get to it. Anyhow, here was a question. Someone asked, they said, well, I have a desire for something. I want to bring something into my life. What do I do? You see, we want things, yes, but the thing represents a particular state, a particular mental mood. That's what the thing represents. For instance, if you want a home, what are you looking for? You're not looking for a house. You're looking for security because that's what the house represents. Security, stability, right? When you're looking for money, you're actually looking for freedom. So if you get into the state, which means, here's the question, what would it be like if you had it? So when you ask yourself, what would it be like if you had it? A whole array of feelings and emotions go through your body. Now, I like to ask this other question. What's the first thing you would do naturally? If you came into a windfall of money, what's the first thing you would do naturally? See that? It automatically brings about a sensation in your body. You do not have to force a sensation or an emotion or a mood. You simply embody the mood. You embody the mood, and the mood represents the thing. So you will encounter and experience the thing and interact with the thing. So if you say you want a relationship, that's so incomplete. What about the relationship? So that's why there's a mood, there's a state, a mental attitude that expands upon the thing you want. What type of relationship do you want? When you can expand upon that, because you're beginning to describe it. And anytime I speak about my grandparents, I speak about the kind of relationship they had. They could talk about anything. They didn't really argue much, but they giggled a lot. They just had this great friendship, this camaraderie. Me, I was too young to understand anything else. Mind you, 8 children later, but I digress. So there was some kind of passion there, I suppose. So when I'm looking in terms of what I want in a relationship, do you see the picture that I begin to paint? It's not just man, woman. It's what does it represent to you? It is that state. It says this relationship is beautiful. This is blissful. We are so free with each other. We can speak. We can laugh. We understand or comprehend one another. So that when you get into that state, but people always ask, but Angela, what if I end up with somebody ugly? You are not going to end up with somebody ugly. Do you know why? Because you already have certain tastes. You already have a type. But if you don't know what your type is, go with the state. Because then when you meet the person, they will be the what? The embodiment of what it is you're looking for. So it's not necessarily that we're looking for a thing. We are seeking to be in the state that the thing represents. This is what we're doing. If you're looking for perhaps a particular car, year, make, model, color, how does that make you feel to think about driving that car? You're telling your friends, they see you in it. That's the state. What you are describing is the state because things are inanimate. They're not alive, they're just things. But the moment you get into the state, that's when the thing comes alive. You are the source of life for that state because it's like a pair of shoes. They mean nothing if they're just sitting at the door. But until you put them on, there are many things you can do with those shoes. Well, it depends. What type of shoes are we talking about? You see? So it's not that the shoes are sitting at the door. You have a desire for shoes. But to do what? If you're looking for galoshes, the rubber boots, and you're out and about, you're splashing about, you're having a great time, you are looking for fun. You are looking for excitement because that's what you get when you jump into the puddles because you're looking for those boots specifically. So you're not just walking around saying, oh, I just got to get a pair of galoshes. They make my gardening much more simple. No, a child will tell you, I want those boots so I can jump in the puddles and I can go, wee. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for the experience, the state that the experience represents. So, to make your life simpler, when you're wanting to have a particular experience in your world, yeah, you name the thing: house, car, relationship, dog, money, whatever. Name it. But then pay attention because the way it makes you feel is telling you the state that it is in. So we don't chase the thing, you embody the state, and the thing comes as a result of the state. Just like when you plant a seed, you have no choice but to reap it. There's nothing you can do once the seed is planted. But without the selection of that seed, where's the harvest? So the harvest is not something that you bring about. The harvest is something that you allow to happen and then you just bring it in. You go out and you pick it. But you don't have the power to make the tree blossom. Your power lies in, what type of fruit would I prefer to eat? That's where your power lies, in the choice that you make. So you make the choice and you recognize the state that it represents. Remember, money represents security, freedom. Because if you had the money, you would do it without complaint. You would do it with what? Freedom. With liberty, without a second guess. You know? It comes with a state of peace of mind because you're not fretting, you're not worrying. So you see, you name the thing and then you allow the state to just emerge from there because it is in a state. And once you get into that state, the thing is inevitable. For instance, we think of people. We think of people. And we have a physiological response when we think of people. Now, that response depends on what? How you feel about the thought of that person. When some people say, I wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire, and they say that. Oh, that's some hatred, isn't it? But then look at what it causes you to do. Look at what love causes you to do. We walk around trying to describe love. Love is just the word. What type of experience would you like to have? That is what will represent what love means. It is far simpler to explain the sensation or the emotion or the experience you would like to have instead of just a word. So you see, when you begin to explain it, that is where these sensations begin to arise from. You see, think about it. You have your favorite dish and you begin to talk about it. And as you speak about it, you say, well, that is tasty, right? It provokes, or should I say, it invokes. It draws out of you what is within. As within, so without, as above, so below. Those are the principles. So this morning, or on this day, what is it that you would like to experience? experience. You see, the thing is just there. But you name the thing because then once the body responds, that's telling you what state you are in. So if you say, you just want your relationship to be, more cordial or sweeter, you're looking for bliss. You're looking for a state of bliss in your relationships. You're looking for a blissful and happy relationship. If you notice, one of them is alive and the other is not. When you say relationship, it's not alive. The moment you begin to describe it, you are breathing life into it. So it is important to explain to yourself what it is you want to experience, because then that is the state. And every time you think about the thing, the body responds to tell you, yes, you are in the state of this thing. So we persist in staying in the state because we love it, don't we? You want it, right? And because you want it, well, you stay in that state. You think of that state, but then when you begin to feel it and imagine it and immerse yourself in it, well, now you're from it. You're seeing the world from that state now. And that is what makes all the difference. You can't see yourself as a house. You can't see yourself as money, but you can see yourself as being secure. You can see yourself as being free. I trust that that little bit um, helps you to truly grasp what it is that you want to do. Now, I'm going to use this example because you're here in the space this morning. But here's what I mean when I say we breathe life into things. He's wanted to create anime because he had a particular message. You see, the brain works by association. The anime is lifeless, but what it represents, the message that he wants it to share, now that is where the life is. So that is the state. It is a state of teaching. It is a state of curiosity. It is a state of wonderment. It is a state of sharing. It truly is a state of love. Because if he didn't love it, he wouldn't want to share it with the rest of the world to convey the message. And so it went from inanimate and lifeless. And then when he began to flesh out the idea, here's what I want people to feel. Here's what I want people to experience. Now he's breathing life into the state. And he's bringing the image off the page and projecting it outward into the world. We all do it. Right down from the seamstress to the tailor to the chef to the. Listen, even the plastic surgeon does the exact same thing. He has a fascination with the form and he thinks he can perfect it. So he sees the perfected state in his mind. Well, how and why? Because of the way he knows when he gives you that mirror, when he gives you the mirror and you are so moved by the work that was done, what do you say? Oh my God, I feel amazing. What was that person looking for? Confidence, self acceptance. You see, they weren't looking for the plastic surgeon. He just happened to represent the state. And the state that they wanted was to feel beautiful. You see, We are looking for a way to feel, which is a way of being. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for things because we are not things, we are beings. So we're seeking a way to be. It's just that the thing represents what you want to be. The thing doesn't have life, but because you become it, you give it life. So we don't just manifest things. That's not what we're doing. We are creating an experience. Ask any caterer, ask any event planner. They tell you what? They want to set an ambiance. They want to invoke a feeling within the attendees. Well, anybody can go to a party, but it is the way the party makes you feel that will determine if you stay at the party. Do you understand? I trust that this is making more sense for you this morning so that when you sit, this is why when I tell you that everybody is doing it, it is creation itself. It's everybody does it. But there's a difference between just doing it willy nilly and being deliberate. To deliberately select the experience you want to have instead of doing the things you've always done because you've always done them without question. So when you begin to explain to yourself how you want to feel, now you've done what Neville Goddard calls you caught the mood. Oh, you're in a mood now. And the mood that you are in will dictate your behavior. So you see, you never have to ask the question, what should I do now? If you get into the state, you don't have a choice but to act. The state compels the action. If you say somebody's going to catch these hands, you are in a state. You are in a mental mood. You are in a mental attitude. And all they have to do, that particular person just has to come along and say or look at you in a particular way. And you act, do you not? Now, that is acting willy nilly. That is allowing your past to dictate your present because you've always acted that way, undisciplined. But being deliberate means you choose how you want to behave. And so that anybody can come along and say and do what they want, but you've already made a choice. You've made a choice. So you're not swayed or influenced by what they do because you've already made your choice. You were deliberate. See the difference between being deliberate and just allowing the self to be willy nilly because we've always done it. So you see, what we want is far deeper than what uh, we we know. It really goes far deeper than that, but it is such a swift motion, right? There's no delay in between the thing that you're thinking about and the way you feel. Because if you didn't think about it, you wouldn't feel. Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. They travel together, right? So when you're building the experiences you want to have, all you're doing is selecting the state. And when you select the state, you will act according to that state. You will meet people that correspond with that state. That's what you'll do. See? It is a most beautiful thing when we take the time. That question uh, came in through a different forum this morning, and so I thought I would address it here. I really want this thing, they said. How do I get it? You name it, but pay attention to the feelings, the sensations that are evoked within you. Pay attention to that because that's telling you the state that you are in. Because the way you feel about that thing, well, that's how you'll behave. So if you say, I really would like a promotion, and you get all excited, but then you say in the same breath, but my boss doesn't like me, so I'd never get it. Their pet would get it, I wouldn't. Their favorite employee would get it. So you see what you behave like? You behave with a lack of confidence. Because you know something. You quote unquote know that you wouldn't get the job because your boss doesn't like you. So you see what you've done? You've based your opinion, you've based what you wanted upon the opinion of another, as if that matters. But what it does within you, it puts you in a state, and now you have to act according to the state. What happens? What's in that state? Resentment. So now when you see your boss, you're like, there he is. I can't stand you. Blah, 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 blah. Because you think he is withholding something from you. But if you say, I do desire that promotion. That's just what I want. Ah, so you want recognition. You want acceptance. Because when somebody sees that you've been promoted, it shows your quote unquote value. It shows your skill. So you see, you're looking for the recognition. And the recognition that rests in your bosom makes you feel how? You feel proud of yourself. So if, that's why you asked the question, what would it be like if I did get that promotion? Well, I would feel like this, and I would feel like this. I would say this. And you allow yourself to go through all of the scenarios of what you would do naturally. Based upon what? How the promotion makes you feel. You notice how you didn't give the boss a second thought whether or not they liked you or not? Because that was not your concern. Because if you behave as if they don't like you will not get the promotion because you will not act the way a promotion is deserving of. But if you say, this is exactly what I want. Yeah, that's my corner office and blah, blah, blah. My paycheck, yes, is bigger. And you are excited. You begin to get the confidence because now you believe in yourself. And if you believe in yourself, you walk in that fashion. You don't walk with your head down. And when somebody says, hey, what would you do to streamline this process? Because you believe in yourself, you would say, listen, this is how it should go. And you talk about it, and then the boss is looking at you like, where were these skills? But those skills were always there because the skills are dictated by the state. But if you say, oh, well, I'm not really sure because why should I tell you anyway? You're not going to promote me. That's in the back of your head. You wouldn't answer. You wouldn't give the idea. You would not give the groundbreaking idea because you're not in the state to do it. You're in a state of fear, a state of resentment. So your attitude would be, why should I tell you and make you richer, please? See? But if you say, listen, that's the promotion I want, and you begin to see in your mind's eye how you would behave naturally in that new position. Your shoulders are up and back now. You're walking around more sure of yourself because you know what you're capable of. See, you're in a state. You don't have the promotion yet, but you're behaving as if you are. And you're solely focused on that. And you do not allow, you see, remember the lecture we learned last night? You do not allow yourself to be pulled from that state. If you should feel yourself wandering away from the state, Well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was presumptuous. No, 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 stop. You say, no, wait a minute. That is what I desire. And the desire is always fulfilled. But if I languish in a state of dissatisfaction, you want a state of satisfaction. That is what the accomplishment of the thing means, that you would be satisfied. So, whenever you imagine what it is that you're doing, that must be accompanied by a sensation of satisfaction. Because if it is not, you will continue wanting it. And then that just tells you that you are in a continual or perpetual state of want. So, what is the satisfaction of having it? See? It's not the thing you want, it's the state you want to experience. I trust that that makes sense this morning. I trust that it does. So that you begin to see things. Let's touch this question here. How are the new assumptions not reflecting still when no opposing thoughts are popping out? Every encounter is manifesting old beliefs and stories from other people. You've just not been in that new state long enough. And when I say you've not been in the state long enough, I mean uninterrupted. So if you assume the new state and you are in it 20 hours out of the day, that's persistence. But if you are in that state 20 minutes out of the day, out of 24 hours, because we allow ourselves to fall backwards into the old state. You see, when you fall from the new state into the old, if you don't notice that you've fallen, you will continue living the old way, which means you bring about the old experiences over and over again. When you notice that your experiences aren't changing, it simply means you've not been in that new state of mind long enough to make it a habit. It's as simple as that. But I've been in it for 2 years. I've been in it for 5 years. You have been trying to do it for 2 to 5 years, is what's happening. You've been trying to maintain your state. You become frustrated by the very fact that you can tell me how long you've been trying to do something is your answer to your problem. It is showing you where you are not being consistent, where you are contradicting the self. I know I can, I know I can, oh no, I can't. But the I know I can't is stronger. And because it is stronger, you continually see the evidence of your cannotness, right? Some people say, well, that's just a cop out. No, it really isn't. In order to see the evidence on the outside, it must first be you. You must be the one in the state. So if you are in one state 23 hours out of the day, that's the experiences you will have. If you are in the state you want to be in, most frequently, if that is the state that has your attention the most, then those are the experiences you will have. So the key here is to remain faithful to the new state. Now, the easiest way, the simplest way, is to love that state. For instance, the writer, when they're writing their story, all you can hear most of it is tap, 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 is the keyboard. Because they're typing, they're busy typing, they're writing. They're so impassioned by what they're writing. They're not thinking, is the book done yet? The story has been told. The story is done. But the story will not be completed if they stop. at chapter 1. They have to write chapter 2. But the thing is, they don't have to think about what to write because they love writing so much. The words pour forth from them with the story. Remember, I told you the seamstress sees the dress, the tailor sees the suit. Well, they see the front cover, the back cover. They just see the book in its completed form. So now they've got to put all the pieces together. They've already developed the characters, and they're watching the character develop on the page. Some people write and they say, "Oh my God, I hate my main character. They're just such jerks." And you're like, "But aren't you the writer?" Because the character has their own personality that they've already given them. So, what does that mean? It means when you are in the state that you want to be in, when you have caught the mood or the mental attitude that you want to embody, there's a character that you play that matches it. And that's what you fall in love with, the role that you're playing. Because if you are busy in love with the role, you don't ask, am I playing the role now? Is it happening? Is it here? No, you are already playing the role. So why would you ask? So that's what happens when you want something. Because I'm answering the question here from Sun. How are the new assumptions not reflecting still when no opposing thoughts are popping out? Because you do not see your opposing thoughts. Your opposing thoughts are your old habitual way. That's how come you can so readily identify them. And that's why things remain the same on the outside. Because, from last night's lecture, the mold, right? The mold, the pattern is what you remain faithful to, the state, so that all of the pieces come together and they fit into that mold. So when you pop the mold out into the world, what comes out? The experience that was inside the mold, the shape. I trust this makes sense this morning because it puts things into perspective. When you can catch yourself saying, "But I've wanted this for so long." Hear what you just said. You've wanted it for so long. You've been in a state of wanting for so long. You have not yet accepted. So how can you experience the thing when you have not accepted that it is yours? If you had accepted that it was yours, you'd be walking in a whole different attitude, a whole different mood, a whole different state of mind. So all we need do, you know what you want, but it makes you feel a particular way. The way it makes you feel is the state because you can describe it. It's how you know what state you're in. And once you describe it, ooh, now you've caught the mood. Well, then remain faithful to that because it is now the object of your desire. And you cannot walk away from it. The desire holds you to it. And when you're in that state of love for your desire, you're living it right there and then in your mind's eye. But you notice you're not asking, are we there yet? Because in your mind, you already are there. You are now satisfied. And you know, just like the seamstress, all you're doing is putting the pieces together on your mannequin. But it is the satisfaction that you saw from the piece you designed in your mind's eye that keeps you going until it is fulfilled upon the mannequin. So if you do not persist, how will you bring it about? You're bringing about all the necessary pieces, not because you're forcing it, but because you are in the state. You're in the mood. And when you're in the mood. You can only act according to the mood. But if the mood should leave you, your behavior has to change. How many times have we said, I'm not in the mood anymore? What happens? What is the evidence of you not being in the mood anymore? You no longer want to do the thing, you no longer want to be it. So when you are in the mood and you love that mood, all you can see and hear and touch and taste and smell is that. And that's all you can do. The longer you stay in the mood, the more the intensity builds in it. Let us take a moment, shall we, to welcome everyone into the space this morning. Ah, beloved love troll. Hello, darling. Oh, symmetric. It is great to see you here on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Who's here this morning? Sun, dearest. Ah, soul of a man. Jeff. Checkmate. The better man. You're the ones who've made yourselves known in the chat. Welcome. Fanbase. Hello, Jay. Ah, beautiful is here. Miss Cherry. Afternoon delight. Delight, what is that picture? It looks like candy somehow, but hey, Fawn. Hello, CJ. Matthias.
Real popcorn.
I thought it was. TD Kenny is here. Miss McQueen. Oracle Treehouse. Flo Smiles. I know she got those candied grapes. Oh, in her picture there. So I trust this morning, my beautiful friends, that you would know it's not just the thing that you want. It is how you feel about it that you actually want to experience. So allow yourself to feel it and to be satisfied by that feeling. Because once you bring about the satisfaction in your mind's eye, well, that's when the thing has been given birth to, and you've given it life, so it has to materialize. I trust that makes sense. Now, I'm not going to keep you this morning. I'm not going to keep you. But this morning, as you hear the bowl and possible bird song, I don't know. He's in the closet, but I can see him. He's quiet. But when you hear the bowl this morning, that thing that you want, begin in your mind's eye to describe how it makes you feel. Catch the mood and the way it makes you feel. Catch it. And when you catch the mood and the way it makes you feel, you say, yes, that is exactly what I want. And just accept it. You planted the seed. If you didn't want those cherries, you would not have planted a cherry seed, would you? No. So you see the blossoms and you see the fruit coming, go pick it. It's what you wanted, because you know that when you bite into that cherry, you say, that is tasty. Well, that's what you wanted, isn't it? So why deny it for yourself? Allow the satisfaction of having it to emerge. The knowing that, ooh, I did plant those Saskatoon bushes. And you know those berries are sweet. And you marvel at every day that spring progresses into summer and summer progresses into fall. And you get to do what? Pick them and eat it. But the picking and eating of the fruit is only the result of you having mentally accepted what you've done. So as you hear the bowl and possible bird song, bring to mind the experience and the sensation of the experience and catch the mood and say, ooh, that is mine, isn't it? bask in it, revel in it, fall in love with it, because that's why you will stay in its presence. And that staying in its presence is what allows you to breathe life into the experience. Yes? Let's get the bowl, shall we, darlings? Let us get the bowl. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2. Beloved love troll, symmetric, son, soul of a man, Jeff, checkmate, the better man. Flo Smiles, Oracle Treehouse, Miss McQueen, TD Kenny, CJ, oh, Miss Fawn, Afternoon Delight, Miss Cherry, J, Beautiful, and Butterfly. Thank you all for being here on this glorious Tuesday. Mm. Thank you all for being here. It is truly appreciated. I love you, and you know I'll see you tonight. I don't remember the name of the lecture. I don't, but I know it's there. 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know how we do. Fall asleep in the state of the wish fulfilled, so that we rise in that state. Oh, indeed. Anywho, I'll see you tonight. Much love to you all and enjoy the most beautiful day that is presented before you. Mold it and shape it into what you want it to be. Indeed. Much love. Twitter is closed. Let's get that water queued up. I'm